Risk Me also on the 15-2 mark, and Don't Forget Me steady on 10-1. Midian 11-1, Most Welcome 14s. Deputy Governor 20-1 from 25s. Lockton is 22-1 from 20s, and Jolly Generation now back to 25-1 from 20-1. Rich Charlie 33s. Nahis and Hydraulic Power both on 66-1, and Ongoing Situation, the 200-1 outsider, all quoted.
Well, photographers positioning themselves for the final moments. I should think one of the early leaders will be this fella, number 10, Nahis, who's a tall, upstanding colt. Joe, he's by a horse Critique that I remember well, but he was a tiny horse.
He was, Rod. This is a very tall horse. He's a lovely horse, actually. He's a bit of a strong puller, you know. And when he ran at Newbury, he made most of the running for the first 6 furlongs, actually. But he's a very, very nice horse. I thought he looked exceptionally well in the paddock. He looked really forward in his coat.
Well, David Ellsworth, who saddled a hot favourite in the big steeplechase last Saturday. It's a feather in his cap that a week later, here he is turning out with not a complete outsider in one of the most important flat races of the season. Joe, Nahis is such a strong puller. I wouldn't think Brian Rouse would be wanting to do anything other than let him bowl if he can.
Well, I think he'd like to restrain him without fighting him. I don't think he particularly wants to make the running. I think with a lot of these horses in the race today, that they've been running on in different ground, very, very heavy in the spring of the year. And I think some of these horses actually in this race today would like a little bit better ground, a bit more yielding. There's been a very dry wind the last 12, 14 hours here, and this course dries up very, very quickly. And I think that today the ground will be on the fast side, and they have got a sort of a wind just behind them, and this could be running a very fast time.
You're looking at the Splonk, the favourite there. That's Ashdale, and Ladbrokes have got the bottom line for it, 5-4. Any bookmaker goes 5-4. Ladbrokes take it. It's 6-5. Office Money Bellotto now a 15-2 chance, and Risk Me the Steamer. The officers are coming in for that also now at 15-2. Midian 11-1 chance. Corfin as the bookmakers worried there. Don't Forget Me, they're giving it away at 10 and 11-1. But Ashdale 6-5. It is still easy to back, although many people believe it is now run out of serious credible opposition.
There's Ashdale. Joe, perfectly calm. He's going into stall 13 with Walter. No problems yet. Would the draw worry you, 13, or would you be happy there?
Not really. It's not over a big field, and from 13, I mean, this horse wants to be covered up anyway. I think Walter would like to produce him sort of inside the last furlong. So, you know, when the race is settled down within a furlong, he'll take across and follow the right horses through.
And let's watch him closely as he goes in. Walter, young in years but long on experience, and almost unflappable. And this is the little sign of fuss we saw at the last meeting, Joe.
Yeah, but a lot of horses do this at the stalls, you know. I mean, I've ridden a lot of good horses. When I rode Chris, I mean, they used to have to carry Chris into the stalls.
It looks as though they might have to carry this fellow in today.
But he's going all right. He's going forward, and that's the most important thing.
Well, the latest betting. Ashdale 11-10, Bellotto 7-1 with Risk Me, 10-1 bar that trio. And this great big strong upstanding horse looks like he's going to go in. Here's Graham.
And all in for the 2,000 guineas. That's it, away they go, and a little slowly out was Nahis, but Don't Forget Me and Rich Charlie are the two early leaders, followed by Midian and Lockton, and then Deputy Governor, followed by Jolly Generation and Risk Me, and then after these Hydraulic Power, Nahis making ground now, then the outsider, Ongoing Situation. The back marks at the moment are Bellotto and the favourite Ashdale over on the far side, but it's Don't Forget Me who leads from Midian with the wide epaulets, and then Rich Charlie. These are the first three. They're followed on the near side by Deputy Governor. They've already covered 2 furlongs in the 2,000 guineas, and it's Don't Forget Me setting sail for home. Don't Forget Me going on by a good 2 lengths. They're closely grouped behind, with just after the leader Rich Charlie and Lockton, then just towards the centre Most Welcome and Midian, coming now down past the 5 furlong marker. So time to go to the grandstand, and Graham, good.
Coming down the centre of the track, and Don't Forget Me with a call over Rich Charlie and Lockton. Ashdale second from the left with the picture on the extreme left. In the pink, his Ongoing Situation some way off the pace. Most Welcome tries to get into a gear, but Don't Forget Me has it from Rich Charlie. Then comes Lockton on the outside. Midian starts to make ground. Deputy Governor Bellotto Bellotto on the extreme right. They pass the bushes. They've got just over 2 furlongs to go in a wide open race. And Don't Forget Me has it from Midian, then Deputy Governor and Bellotto. The favourite Ajdal tries to pick it up on the inside. Lockton drops away. Most Welcome stays on. They race down into the dip, just over a furlong to go, and Don't Forget Me with a call over Midian and Deputy Governor and Ajdal in a bumping match with Most Welcome. They come inside the final furlong, and it's Don't Forget Me who's holding on. Bellotto punishing a late run on the very wide outside. It's Don't Forget Me and Bellotto fairly eats up the ground, but Don't Forget Me wins the Guineas. Don't Forget Me, Bellotto from Most Welcome and Midian and Ajdal. Then came Deputy Governor and Nahees, in which Charlie and Jolly Generation, and last of all was Ongoing Situation. And so the result of this, the general accident, 2,000 guineas, a win for number 4, Don't Forget Me, owned by Mr. Jim Horgan, trained at Marlborough by Richard Hannon and ridden by Willie Carson. But the result has The result has been called, but I'm afraid to say officially a photo, and there is a steward's inquiry to this 9-1 winner, a steward's inquiry to the outcome of this general accident, 2,000 guineas, as they flash past the post. Don't Forget Me in the pink jacket. Behind him is Bellotto, and on the far side, Most Welcome, Ajdal, and reading down the picture, Midian with the epaulets. Then came Deputy Governor. They're the first ones home. Let's review the closing stages in a minute or two as we look at these horses pulling up at the end of a general accident, 2,000 guineas, packed with incident. The red-hot favourite is beaten, and he was in a bit of a bumping match with Most Welcome. Officially, it's a photo to the general accident, 2,000 guineas, but it's Don't Forget Me and Bellotto in that photo. Willie Carson has ridden his 5th winner of the season, if he's prevailed, as I believe on our evidence that he has done. He's ridden his 3rd 2,000 guineas winner, having won on High Top and having won on Known Fact. That was on the disqualification of Murieff, and this race is a subject of a steward's inquiry.
Well, Don't Forget Me triumphs over adversity. It'll be very interesting to look at the closing stages. Joe, after about a furlong, they really did go along, didn't they?
Well, they did, and Willie's gone, you know, he's from his position, he's been drawn, he's gone dead straight. At the moment in time, I can't see what the steward's inquiry is about, but I don't think it's got anything to do with the winner.
No, that was what I felt too. Don't Forget Me in the middle of the picture now. It's Ajdal and Most Welcome. Graham called it at the time. He felt they'd bumped there on the outside of the picture. Most Welcome with a noseband. Ajdal, Walter Swinburne, you see, he's gone for his whip there next to Most Welcome. And they certainly haven't come close together there. Maybe they do as they go into this. Yes, they've collided now, Ajdal and Most Welcome. And as you said, Joe, it doesn't look to involve the winner, who runs on really well up the hill. I
think what a marvellous performance. Very, very brave, very courageous to jump out and make all the running and stick on really strong. And the last half furlong, I mean, he's been tackled by, what, 5-6 horses, and he keeps on sticking his head out. I think it's a terrific performance.
And you thought here that Bellotto was going to swamp him, but no, he finds more.
Finds more. Very, very brave.
Very, very brave. A tremendous feat by Richard Hannon, who's improved the horse, got him here. He must have spent a terrible morning, worried sick, but they won all right.
Absolutely fantastic.
Willie Carson, very popular with the punters, getting a tremendous reception, of a great spare ride for him. Horse originally ridden by Pat Edery and then by Greville Starkey. Willie, who's retained stable, didn't have a runner in the race. Joe, he followed you into Major Hearn's stable. You know Willie very well. He rode a smashing race on him, just as you'd have expected.
Absolutely super. I mean, that's the way to ride a horse. This horse loves to gallop. And he just keeps on going, and Willie's, I would imagine, just throwing the reins at him as he would do, and sit there and let him get on with his job.
Well, Willie's had a wretched start to the season as regards his runners to winners over here, but that's a tremendous boost for him.
Oh, Jim.
So the outcome of the photo has been called for this 2,000 guineas. 4, Don't Forget Me, the winner. 2, Bellotto is second, and called third is number 9, Most Welcome, trained here at Newmarket by Jeff Ragg, ridden by Paul Edery. So Willie Carson on his 5th winner of the season. Officially placed 4th is Midian, but don't forget, this race subject to a steward's inquiry. He won by a neck, did Don't Forget Me, a length between second and third.
Well, here's the head-on replay, Joe, the all-important one as far as supporters of the first four home are concerned. In the middle of picture, in the lead, Joe, Don't Forget Me, the winner, and we don't think he's done anything wrong.
I think he's going an absolute dead straight track right down the centre of the course.
Now, as we move it on, next to him is Rich Charlie. On the outside of Rich Charlie is Ashdal. Walter Swinburne, you can see there with his whip aloft, and on the outside of Ashdal is Most Welcome. And this is where we think the interference has happened as they come into that dip, Joe.
Absolutely, and I think it's about to occur now. By the look of things, I think it's Most Welcome that goes into Ashdal and gives him a bump.
He's given him a right old bump too, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Ashdal has lost his momentum. Paul Edery, it's happened quickly with the horse. He's stopped riding fairly swiftly, but there's no doubt that he hasn't done Ashdal any good at all, and he's lost his momentum there, Joe.
Utterly and completely. He's had him almost sideways on at one stage, and that doesn't help a horse at this particular stage in a race.
Well, we're told it's the fastest 2,000 guineas for 20 years. You said the time would be fast, Joe.
It's fast ground and wind behind them.
The stricken Don't Forget Me has won the 2,000 guineas at 9-1, did touch 12-1 on the course. It was the fourth favourite. The second Bellotto went off at 7-1, and the third Most Welcome was a 14-1 chance. The